So today I'm going to tell you one of my story pet peeves. I'm not going to say book pet peeves because it doesn't happen just in books. And that would be a lack of counterbalance. And what do I mean by that? I mean that, well, a very obvious example, which I can't say that I see a lot, but just so you know precisely what I mean, would be if you watched a movie and it's got like 200 people in the cast, and then on the screen comes one black guy, and he's a member of a gang. Like, doesn't look good, does it? And it's not because you can't have a black character who's a member of a gang in a movie. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's like the only black guy in the whole film, doesn't look good. You know, it'd be one thing if you're like, okay, over here, well, we have this black guy, and he's a scientist, and here's this family, and they're just hilarious and funny, and they just love each other. And I know I said funny twice, basically, but that would just be a very obvious in-your-face one that usually they're pretty good at avoiding something that egregious. But usually it's not that obvious. Or it's not race, so they don't care if people get mad. Religion is one that I see frequently. I don't know. Okay, on one end of the extreme, you have, would be, I don't know, a movie or show or book in which the religious characters do everything right, and the non-religious characters do everything wrong, or it mostly just focuses on religious characters and they all just seem like they're happy and their life is perfect, and why does the story even exist? It's not very interesting. So that would be one end of the spectrum, and the other end would be a story in which all of the religious characters are complete whack jobs, like cult level, like, you know, something weird happens, there's an earthquake, and while everybody else is just trying to, like, dig people out of the rubble and help out and get their bearings and just do everything they can to make the best of this situation and make as many people survive as is possible, then just off to the side, you got this religious guy being like, it is a judgment from God and I will not help any of you. I'm in fact going to be a problem for this entire film. At the end, you may have to kill me because I will then, at some point, I will think it is my duty as an avenger of God to go around and kill the people that I find most reprehensible of this group. Probably the main character who's actually really helpful and wonderful. So that would be the other end of the extreme. And I don't like either of those. To me, the perfect story that actually does in fact focus on religious characters of any kind. It's okay if it's a... not every story has to be about religious characters, but if you do have them, maybe have a few that are decent and that the religion actually is part of, you know, it's something through which they view the world and it actually makes them a little less cynical, you know, a little, or something, you know, it's a good thing in their life, or at least something that breaks even, you know. And then you can have over here someone who has a very messed up religious perspective, and it's a bad thing in their life. And you could have both of those in the same movie. That'd be fine. I saw a movie once where this boy was getting abused by his father, and his father was a minister, and he called the cops, or somebody called the cops, I don't know. Anyway, the cop shows up, small town cop, and he gets to talking with the minister, and they just get to laughing and having a great time, and then the cop's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to come, because, you know, someone calls, you gotta look into this stuff. Well, you have a great day, sir, and goes on his way. And then after the cop leaves, the minister, like, beats the crap out of his kid, and then ties him out to, like, a fence post, and then the kid, who is actually the villain of the movie, as an adult, he was, you know, he'd been beaten by his dad and was left out in the hot sun tied to a frickin' fence post, so he's obviously distraught, and he was like, well, if this guy who's supposed to be a man of God is so awful to me, then I'm not even gonna call on God, I'm gonna call on the devil. And then he makes a deal with the devil, and he's got weird powers and stuff, and, you know, demonic possession, all that good stuff. But anyway, none of that in the film bothered me at all. Even as someone who is religious, I wasn't the least bit offended that there was this minister who was just a complete hypocrite and didn't believe any of the stuff that he actually said he believed. And then he went out and beat his kid, and his son made a deal with the devil, you know. Like, none of that bothered me, because it wasn't like that literally all the other characters in the movie weren't religious, and this was just the only angle through which religion was being seen. Now, there were other characters in the movie, some of whom were religious, and some of those people who were religious were decent and okay characters, you know. So because of that, you could do this horrible thing, have this minister be an absolute vile pile of human garbage that we all would like to take out and shoot, and I wasn't offended. So that's what I mean by if you put in counterbalance, you can do just about anything in a story and you won't offend most people. Can't say all, you will always offend someone, but most people. So, anyway, that's all I mean. So anyway, I guess this is my point, is that have counterbalance in the story, particularly if the, like, individuals that you're casting in negative light are, you know, not the mainstream. I don't know. Most people don't know anything about Mormons, so don't make your one Mormon character, like, a psychopathic murderer, you know? Or don't make your one Middle Eastern character a terrorist, okay? Let's just, you know, if you can manage that, then you won't have set off my pet peeve. So, right then.